This is your midweek evening news update for Wednesday, November 3. A St. Michael family is in mourning this evening after their missing loved one was found dead this morning. Police reported that the body of 66-year-old Kenrick Welch of Waterford St. Michael was found at Tent Bay, St. Joseph. Police spokesman, Acting Station Sergeant Michael Blackman, updated reporters at the scene.
Police at District F received reports of the sighting of a naked body of a man laying among the rocks at Tent Bay Beach, St. Joseph. On arrival about 11:10 a.m., police discovered the lifeless body of an adult male who has now been identified as Kenrick Welch, 66 years, of Waterford, St. Michael. Mr. Welch was reported missing by a family member on Monday, November the 2nd, 2021, by a family member. He was pronounced dead at the scene by a medical doctor. Anyone who may have any information that can assist with the investigation is asked to contact Police Emergency at 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS or 1-800-8477, or District A Police Station at 430-7242.
The Delta variant is pushing the positivity rate to worrying levels. Senior Health Officer Dr. Arthur Phillips delivered the sobering news today while speaking on a program hosted by COVID-19 Public Advisor David Ellis. Dr. Phillips cautioned that the transmission of the coronavirus in the country remains high.
We would normally define more than 500 cases per 100,000 population as a very high level. People may remember back in January and March, we were spoken to the idea of 25 cases per 100,000 as a threshold that we were aiming for to get below. And we have been, for the past few days, at above 1,700 cases per 100,000 population. And of course, we've established that Delta, the highly transmissible variant, is circulating in Barbados.
With large numbers of persons continuing to be infected daily, Dr. Natalie Graves, a lecturer in public health at the University of the West Indies, said the time has come for people to stop referring to COVID-19 as a hoax. Dr. Graves, who also appeared on the program, urged Barbadians to act responsibly and follow the protocols.
We know that coronavirus exists. It's amazing to me that still persons are still saying that COVID is not real and that it's essentially a whole hoax. That's not the case. I think those persons who have been ill can attest to that, and the public health practitioners and the persons at Harrison Point and just the global evidence base would let everyone know that we have to put that kind of argument aside now and accept that this is a condition, and this is a condition that needs to be treated aggressively and managed at a population level and an individual level as well. So I would want to use this opportunity to implore persons to take a moment of pause. Sometimes you might see something on WhatsApp that seems interesting. It may be a funny cartoon, etc. And you may pass that on in jest, but fact check that bit of information. And also think about the fact that a lot of the vaccine hesitancy that we see, etc., is because persons are seeding doubt about things that have a strong scientific basis. So yes, COVID, the SARS-CoV-2 virus exists. COVID-19 disease in and of itself is a disease that needs to be taken seriously.
The latest COVID-19 update shows the country recorded an additional 7 deaths, 3 men and 4 women between Tuesday and Wednesday. The deceased were all Barbadians, a 61-year-old fully vaccinated man, and 2 women aged 33 and 53 who were both unvaccinated died at the Harrison's Point Isolation Facility today. 4 others passed away on Tuesday, 2 women aged 62 and 91 who were isolated at the Harrison Point and Queen's College isolation facilities. 2 men aged 72 and 81 died while in isolation at the Blackman and Gollop and Queen's College isolation facilities. They were unvaccinated. The number of persons who have succumbed to the virus to date is 167. Meanwhile, the island recorded 393 new infections from 1,966 tests conducted by the Besta Santos Public Health Laboratory. There are 797 people in isolation facilities and 5,845 in home isolation. Politicians, colleagues, the media fraternity, friends, and admirers today paid glowing tribute to broadcaster Dennis Johnson, who died on Tuesday at 64. The Barbados Association of Journalists and Media Workers said the island and the Caribbean have lost one of the finest and professional broadcasters of the last 2 decades. Veteran broadcaster Vic Fernandez described Johnson as an outstanding broadcaster, a man of great integrity, and a wordsmith of class. In her tribute, Prime Minister Mia Mottley said Johnson was a man of strong character who was committed to intellectual and broadcasting honesty and excellence. Information Minister Wilfred Abrams said Johnson's contribution to broadcasting in Barbados is undeniable.
Dennis was passionate about his work, and this was evident. His contribution to broadcasting in Barbados is unquestioned. Dennis's wide-ranging interests and breadth of knowledge on an array of topics made him a capable and well-loved call-in host. His role as a moderator on Down to Brass Tacks is one of his most well-known media roles that endeared him to listening audience both in Barbados and abroad. As an announcer, he loved music of all genres and created programs that generated dedicated followers who praised him for his selection and arrangement of material. Dennis also had a unique way of drawing parallels and making cultural references that exposed his intimate experience of life and the vernacular of Barbados and the Caribbean.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, my name is Michelle Thompson. I'm a visually impaired person. I am also a member of the National United Society of the Blind of Barbados. I am vaccinated. I took the vaccination due to the fact that I am diabetic, I'm asthmatic, and I also have high blood pressure. I had no side effects. Everything went calm and smooth, as my doctor said it would go. Please, people, go ahead and do the right thing.
Let's roll up our sleeves and get back to living.
To regional news, face-to-face classes are off to a smooth start in Antigua and Barbuda. We get more in this report from Shannon Jarvis of ABS Television.
Schools across Antigua and Barbuda were given the green light to resume face-to-face learning as of the 2nd of November. The standard protocols of sanitizing, mask wearing, and physical distancing remain in full effect as thousands of students return to the physical classroom for the first time in 8 months. Principal of the Otters Comprehensive School, Foster Roberts, shares the optimism of students, teachers, and administrators.
We are really happy to be back face-to-face. Has been already online learning and its impact on our children, especially our students who are not in school.
Desks and chairs have been placed significantly far apart to maintain social distancing among students. One teacher could not contain her enthusiasm as she shares how happy she is to see her students and to be able to offer any remedial assistance.
I was looking forward actually to see my students face to face because online learning, I wasn't meeting them, most of them. I would have only a few from the numbers. So that was my main challenge, and I wasn't getting assignments completed because some of them didn't have access to the internet, even though they had their laptop.
Further afield in Malawi, charities say the coronavirus pandemic has led to a rise in child marriages globally. But as we hear in this report from Al Jazeera, it's not only the pandemic to blame for young girls becoming victims of early marriages.
When the sun rises over Lake Malawi, Africa's third largest lake, it usually means early morning chores have to be done. Out here, washing dishes and doing the laundry is generally a job for young women and girls. When they finish, some of them will head off to school. But Chief Saliati Juma says every year, many girls drop out and become victims of early marriage. lockdown measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in her community didn't help.
Children had nothing to do at home. Some got pregnant and got married. Usually when girls miss school, the teachers tell us and we find out why. But when the schools closed, it was hard to keep a check on them. Now that schools have opened, we see that some girls aren't in class.
Community leaders managed to persuade these teen mothers to go back to school. One girl says she wants to become a journalist, the others, nurses.
At first, my husband didn't want me to leave him. He ordered me to stay. When the police got involved, he got scared and let me go. Now he has found another wife.
Even before the pandemic, Malawi had one of the highest rates of early child and teenage pregnancy in the world.
1 out of 2 girls are getting married before their age of 18. Then it definitely is a problem, isn't it? Almost like half of the women population, which is 51% of the Malawi total population, is becoming, dropping out of school, number one, and secondly, becoming a mother before age of 18.
Teachers say rising poverty could force more girls out of school and into early marriages.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.